Welcome to SeriousTech, Engineering the Future, a podcast where we deep dive into the critical role of domain expertise in shaping successful careers in technology. In a rapidly evolving tech landscape, mastering a specific domain is what sets top engineers apart. Join us as we explore how domain tech is transforming industries with a special focus on healthcare, and hear from experts who have built cutting-edge solutions by combining technical brilliance with specialized knowledge. If you're looking to stay ahead in your tech career, this is the place to be. Today, we are thrilled to have Karthik Purushothaman, Senior Delivery Manager of Pharma Practice at Wilco Source, a CitiusTech company. He'll share his insights on his role, its impact on the future of health tech, and how that fuels his passion for making a difference in people's lives. Karthik, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Laurel. It's my pleasure to be your guest.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad you're here. I would love to learn more about you. Would you mind sharing your background and your journey through your career?
I completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but moved into IT right after my graduation. I started as a .NET developer. .NET has evolved itself, but I started in those days where it was .NET was a prime core skill to be in, right? And I started with Infosys. That was my first job. Within Infosys, I moved on to quality assurance, and eventually become a manager. Started handling projects, and then now into the more into delivery, right? Wherein I handle multiple projects. I also earned an executive MBA from Great Lakes, which has helped me to understand the domain more in terms of business, and also has equipped me with decision making skills. Currently, I serve as a senior delivery manager where I oversee the end to end delivery of multiple products and projects for a pharmaceutical major. This role allows me to manage complex projects, ensuring the timely delivery along with quality, which is very critical, right? And at the same time, driving innovation in the pharmaceutical domain. I love my role. This allows me because it allows me to leverage my techno-functional expertise towards bringing value to the client, and also the key mantra of continuous learning, wherein I have the ability to learn multiple nuances in technical terms and also the ever-growing domain, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And your journey certainly reflects that from, starting as a mechanical engineer, going into IT and being a project manager. And for you, as in your role as the senior delivery manager, seeing this end-to-end delivery and all the processes of it over the years, can you share some insights from your experience of working in the healthcare domain and some of those key shifts that you've seen that have been brought on by innovation?
Absolutely, Lauren. If I talk about healthcare domain, I would need your entire episode to be extended for us. But yeah, but still, I'll try to give a glimpse here. I started my domain in or my career in telecommunication domain. I didn't jump into the healthcare domain from day one of my career, but still, it was a short stint wherein I spent in telecommunication. But it's been 15 plus years now, right? That I'm into this healthcare and life sciences domain. But still, I would say I have just scratched the surface of this vast and complex field, right? And the healthcare is evolving day by day, and the reason it is very critical is healthcare touches every aspect of life, starting with the patient and the specialists to diagnose and treat them, supported by laboratories, and also a lot of the enhancements in laboratories in terms of imaging services, nuclear images, scans, and advancements in pharmaceuticals like specialty drugs. There are payers who help all the insurers to get their medical arrangements or get out of the medical ailments. And there are pharmaceutical companies who are here to specialize on their drug manufacturing. And there are much more moving entities which all collaborate to attain or to help or to attain that goal of saving lives. And coming to some of the use cases or the pointed examples that will help you to understand how the work we are doing or the evolvement of healthcare and how it is touching the lives and what is the future, right? So I'll talk about two use cases here. The first is more from a payer domain within the healthcare and life sciences umbrella. It is more of the contact center enhancements, because contact center, again, I would say, is a lifeline cutting across the healthcare or any domain for that matter. And for healthcare, it is very, very critical because the call can be for anything. That you are in an ambulance and you are calling to make sure that am I covered for the medical issue that I'm going through, or you are planning for a cosmetic surgery, you still call. It can be a relaxed call, it can be an emergency call, or it can be something that you are planning, or you have a life event and you want to make sure your future is protected. So that's where the contact center is a lifeline. And here we work with a particular payer who want to enhance his contact center. Contact center should have the latest information, otherwise you're not going to help the patient or help the payer or anyone that is calling you. That's where they want to modernize the contact center entire system, and that's where they wanted to move out from a legacy which was 20 plus years old system. We wanted to modernize it with the latest Salesforce Service Cloud. We wanted to completely migrate from the legacy to the Service Cloud. So what does Service Cloud bring in? It brings in a lot of advanced feature because it already comes with out of the box features. Procure Salesforce with a basic functionality already built in. It's not that you have to start from the scratch. That's where we call it as out of the box functionality implementation and customization. You still have to get in, customize based on your workflows, your patient background, your payer contracts, all those things kicks in. So that is where the customization part comes in. And this modernization has helped. What are the objectives, right? Why can't the customer just go with the current system, right? Because he wants to improve both the performance of the contact center system, also to enhance, also to fast track the patient support system. Next is again a different aspect of the healthcare, which is more of a hub system, and it is for the pharmaceutical major. And what do we do here is we are trying to build more of a data and analytics dashboards, right? And we get the source data, we process it, and make it present in a way that any leadership team, when looks into the dashboard, gets the nuances, gets the detail, gets where they are lacking, gets where they are excelling, or gets where their team is performing well, and accordingly put out the next set of measures. And this dashboard is again for the patient support. There is a patient who is in the requirement of a specialty drug. And in the US healthcare, you don't get drugs over the counter, wherein or like how you get in the rest of the world. You have to go through a lot of checks and balances if you have to procure a drug, and more checks and balances if it is a specialty drug. First, you verify the benefits, then, if not, go through an authorization to procure it. If authorization denies, how does this hub come into picture to expedite the process of the end patient getting in the drug? So, again, these dashboards are going to draw you or portray a picture of the entire life cycle that a patient goes through, or the entire life cycle that a payer goes through, or the entire life cycle that the drug manufacturer goes through. And based on these metrics, or based on these KPIs, or based on the data drawn out of the dashboard, that's where your leadership or your team takes the next steps. Where should we advance? Where should we fast track our the system, the entire life cycle, for the person who's in need of it gets it at the best possible time or the least possible time. So these are some of the use cases, and you see both of the use cases are again drawing across the same line. That is, the patients are the beneficiaries here, and we are touching human lives.
Absolutely. And within those case studies, as you've given us, and you mentioned a lot of different solutions that you're working on, different problems along the way, things that you're trying to solve in each of those use cases. What would you say are the key parameters that one has to keep in mind when they're trying to solve these problems in healthcare?
I would say the first one is quality. Without quality, without precision, you are not going to help the patient. You are here to enhance, not to decrease, or not to try to get them down, right? For them to give a elevated experience, right? You have to provide your solutions in highest possible quality, and whatever it may be, right? It may be the data that you are providing through a call center or a contact center, or the data you are providing about a drug manufacturing, or it can be the benefit coverage, or you're processing a claim. and you can't throw or you can't misutilize the treatment provided. Second is schedule adherence. You have to provide, even if you go to a doctor, you have to be treated at the right moment. Otherwise, it, it can be plus or minus. It can go either ways. Timing is very, very critical when it comes to healthcare and everything else. So you have to plan. You have to be adhered to your schedule. If you have open enrollment every November, December, you have to make sure all your enhancements or updates or new policies are getting rolled out. You can't wait for that. I can provide it in the new year. No, new year, the benefit will kick start, right? Who knows, on the one fine day of a new year, anyone can get into any particular trouble or a medical situation. The medical situation can't wait. It will rush you through. So schedule adherence. So I would always say quality and schedule adherence is what I would always be watchful of. It's more of getting revolved with a virtuous cycle, right? Where our customers deal with their own set of customers. We are indirectly touching the end customer, and this has to be taken care. So if we take care of the quality of the our customer, automatically the quality of the end customer is going to be taken care. And here we are here to not to solve events, we are here to take care of life cycle, right? So that is where the quality and steady elements put together, for sure it's going to not take care of particular event or particular situation. It's going to be a long term solutions that you're going to provide to your end customers who are obviously the patients.
Both very patient centric parameters and and answers that you've had, because you're right, at the end of the day, at the center of it all is the patient. It's a person's health, it's a person's life. And being that you are currently working with pharmaceutical companies, what would you say is the next big leap in pharmaceuticals that's been driven by tech advancement?
The pharmaceutical manufacturing market is expected to grow almost 1.2 trillion, right? USD by 2030. Much of this growth is for sure is going to be supported or aided through the technological advancements. Without technological advancements, it is going to drag the growth. Now we have gone from a in-person meeting to a virtual meeting everywhere. The next big leap is going to be the AI and ML. They are going to transform the drug manufacturing by optimizing the processes and enabling predictive maintenance. So again, tying this to the key parameters I told, AI and ML are also going to ensure the quality is under control. AI is paving the way for the faster, safer, and more cost-effective drug delivery, right? Which will significantly impact the patient's life. Another exciting development is the efficient streamlining of the clinical trials, right? And best example is how fast we are able to get the COVID shots, the COVID boosters, the clinical trials, or if you have to get a drug out after all the checks and balances, all the inspections and regulatory measures that you have to go, it will take almost 10 to 15 years. But now you saw how faster it was. The AI and the ML coming together is going to help or to streamline it with a faster the life cycle, right? The drug life cycle. And finally, the ERP and CRM put together. And as I told you, whatever the use case that I referred, right? It's more from a Salesforce standpoint, which is a CRM, right? The customer relationship management tool. So these two, ERP and CRM put together, is going to give an exceptional experience to the customer, right? That what is the stock that is for a particular drug? Is it available in this particular location or in this particular zip code? If not, what is the nearest possible zip code? How soon I can get it? And you send me precautionary or alerts that it's time for a refill. So all of this are going to help for the life cycle of the patients. These are some of the next big leap with AI and the CRM tools combining or tying up together, taking a big leap in the pharmaceutical growth driven by the tech advancements.
Faster, safer, more cost effective for the patients. Once again, a great patient centric answer. And Karthik, it's your passion for what you do is so clear, and we've really enjoyed having you on. If you had any word of advice for young professionals coming up with that same passion for bettering lives and they're wanting to enter healthcare domain, what would your advice be for them?
Yeah, sure, Laurel. I wouldn't say it's more of an advice, but I would say it's more of my learning and the tips and tricks that I I want to or I try to follow in my lifestyle. Maybe it can help you too. So obviously, the engineers who are coming out or joining us are much more informative because they are in the era of all the information available in their fingertips. Still, some of that I would suggest them is the passion for learning, right? Or always learn for your lifetime. So develop a passion for learning, right? And if you do, you will never cease to grow. Correct. So this a quote that I always refer to, and the learning can be of anything, right? The one that brings you delight, or the one that opens your or start burns your memory cells, right? Like it can be a technical learning, or it can be a domain learning, or it can be a presentation learning, or it can be a behavioral learning, anything for that matter, right? But always uh, keep your eyes and ears open to learn. Then you will never cease to grow. And second is be be ready to be feel awkward, right? uh, Only the growth happens only when you are willing to feel awkward, right? And I have again referring a quote, right? So try to fail early, at the same time fail safe. Even we do it, or I learned it during my QA stint, right? Unless you find defects, your product is not foolproof, right? And if you find defects, it's better rather than the customer finding the defects. So that's where we make the system to fail early within the boundary of our development. When it gets into the hands of the customers, it should be foolproof. If it fails there, it's a late fail, and it's going to cost you more, right? That can be applicable for your lifetime also. Fail early, but fail safe, right? These are two kind of tips and tricks. More than that, for the persons who are joining us and looking for a brighter or a long term career, I would say start focusing more on this diffusion of domain and tech, which is called as domain tech. And what is going to help you is it's going to elevate your learning in both the uh, areas, right? And when you marry this domain and technology, it's going to be your help you with a deep understanding in healthcare, at the same time solve many complex problem, and you will be in a position to drive real change, right? So domain tech is going to be the future change. So I would say start or focus your learning in domain tech, and start experimenting by yourself so that you fail early but you fail safe.
Just to summarize, always keep learning, have a passion for learning, be able to step out of your comfort zone, fail early, fail safe, and then looking forward and ahead to that fusion of domain knowledge and technology, so domain tech. I think it's great advice for young technologists out there. And Karthik, thank you once again for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge and your passion with us.
Thank you, Laurel, and thank you for having me in this podcast. And I was also able to learn a lot from your questions, and it started me to deep dive more on some of the areas that I have not done. And thanks for this opportunity once again.
Thank you. The SeriousTech Engineering the Future podcast is brought to you by CitiusTech, a leader in healthcare consulting and IT services. To find out more about CitiusTech, visit CitiusTech.com. To listen to more interesting insights on healthcare technology and innovations, search and subscribe to CitiusTech's YouTube channel.